Tusk is not bad, honestly. Like, the snowball kind of hones in on the hero, right? And and that makes it pretty easy to actually get the dust off, prevent him from, you know, going through the trees and whatnot. So if Tusk and Brubik just kind of, that's the whole nature of Broodmother. It's why it's picked. It like ties up your supports, and it makes them not quote unquote useless, but I mean, Tusky focusing on mid. Oh, it's actually going to be a support Leshrac now.
Yeah, so it's in the hands of Mad, which means that's what I was talking about before with Loda being the core and then Arc.
Prepare for battle.
Going to be running the mid. He's definitely running the mid. He's built for a bottle, so he's coming down for the rune. There's going to be a Beastmaster in the mid lane being played by Pycat, which puts Loader on the safe lane as the Nargothrond being babysat by that Keeper of the Light. And then down towards the bottom lane, you've got Leshrac, who will probably end up moving up towards the top, but it means Admiral Bulldog is on the bottom lane up against the defensive lane of Fnatic.
They just want to make this mid lane a lot easier for Alliance. Like, I still don't think Leshrac does that badly in mid against OD, but man, Beastmaster's, like, he's got 2 branches right now and he almost hits for 70 damage. His attack animation's one of the best for melee in the entire game, if not the best. It's really, really good. And when he loses his int, he's not going to lose damage, so his last hitting's still always going to be there.
Yep.
It's a really, really, and it also, his spells don't cost a lot of mana. Like maybe the Whirling Axes do, Wild Axes do, but you don't need much mana to cast the Boar, and the Boar is pretty effective against OD, so I actually kind of like this from Alliance.
Yeah, they make their lanes favorable. Well, the only other option they could have potentially had was put Broodmother in the mid, then you're never having spawn Spiderlings.
Just go for Incapacitating Bite. Well, that's a mouthful.
That build is legit.
Yeah.
That build is so legit. Because when you get your Insatiable Hunger, you can basically solo any hero that isn't Axe.
And they buffed it too, so.
Yeah. It's like the move slot up to 40% once you hit level 4.
It's more the mischance, man. You just poke them once. What a League of Legends term that is. You poke them once, and they miss 30%.
I don't watch LOL.
Yeah. Me neither. I just heard it once. Anyway.
Yes, we just got to scream out Pentakill in the middle of all of this.
Is that what it is?
I believe.
Quadra-kill. I knew that one.
A quadra-kill?
Yeah.
I hold on to the old Hon term of genocide.
That's the best.
Yeah. It was a great word to be applied when the team was completely dead. It was perfect.
Yep. I think people still say it sometimes. Yeah. The Han players that still remember that.
For the old kids out there. And then there's Warcraft 3 people that still call it Abaddon as opposed to Abaddon.
I do that from time to time, and then I went on Wikipedia and I found it was Abaddon.
On Dota 2, yeah. But in Dota 1, it was Abaddon.
Oh, it was actually Abaddon?
Yeah, in Warcraft 3 Dota, it was Abaddon. Which is why a lot of people who were like, oh man, like, change with the times. It's like, well, sorry, that's a Gwynsu.
Yeah, I'll never say that.
30 seconds to battle.
Shout out to some of the old creators of Dota. The reason why it came into be. Alright, so
we got 2 sentries here for Tusk. I'm surprised they didn't put also by the Dust. I think Dust is way better against Brood. Just because sentries is nice, you see where his position is, but like you have that constant vision of him once you use this,
They might also be thinking about like the Tuskar leaving, because you only need the sentry wards for the bottom lane. So if he ends up moving around with Kichik, they can go for just a roaming gank and maybe catch him out of position. Like go for a different lane after you've harassed Admiral Bulldog back. I say harass him back. It's going to be difficult anyway. He throws out a secondary web, and he can move so easily through the tree line. Just throw a sentry ward almost smack bang between the middle of the webs.
Yeah, so we'll see how much he can get at. But look, again, even if he doesn't get too much, I think as long as he's keeping the supports here, he's kind of done his job. He can get levels a little bit later and then be a nuisance. I think that they're fine. I think they're actually fine in the late game with Naga and Beastmaster. Keep in mind, too, they have so much global presence when they get their items up. Boots of travel to Boars, or to Hawks.
Bulldog being picked up. There goes your Dust. Admiral Bulldog. They're going to snowball in on him, and with the Rocket Barrage, they take him out. Not only do they take him out, actually, did he...
He used the sentry. It's right there.
Yeah, but he used a sentry, and he got rid of the other sentry, but Fnatic started attacking into the sentry, so what actually brought down the Radiant sentry?
It must have been either creeps that were passing by or something.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it was intentional by Admiral Bulldog to now gain, like, vision superiority over the bottom lane or not, but still.
I mean, if he's able to cleanly get rid of a sentry and then know where the next sentry is being placed, he can just play a lot more aggressively. So he went for the play, but unfortunately he got punished for it. So
top lane, Loda. Actually, hasn't leveled up in Snare, which means he can't combo with Mad.
Yeah, he's got a ton of creeps coming his way, which is why he's still only level 1. So this will put him up. If he gets solo experience, he'll be up to like level 3, which is really good.
That's the reason why Mad's all the way back too. And they didn't actually block up the pull point. This Observer Ward, which went down from Ohio, just watches the movement from Mad and Arke. Which I'm kind of surprised at, because, yeah, okay, you can watch Arke running himself around. The Cog's going to be a bit of a nuisance, but Ohio, the Illuminate, he's going to walk a little bit fast, takes a lot of damage, he's only got one tango, the ball's coming in from Pycat, it'll connect, and Loda, well, he's not moving down for this. Ohio's a way to safety. Mushi tried to come in and just play with things a little bit too. But it's the bottle bounty in for Pycat. They're completely fine with this alliance.
And the stun duration on Split Earth is amazing too. It doesn't scale up. It's 2 seconds at all levels. So I was wondering, I was like, was he lagging or something? Or nope, that's just a flat 2-second stun duration, which is really,
so here's
really
a question for you then. Why do you always see the 404 build coming in from a lot of Latraks who play these cores, as opposed to just getting one value point of an Edict? While Pycat, oh, this is a bit of a hard time for him, but he's got balls, they can't keep chasing him.
And he's pretty tanky. So I mean, that was the idea. It would have been amazing if Leshrac was mid. Just snowballing with Tusk would have been great with Leshrac, but Beastmaster doesn't care too much. To answer your question, though, it's because of the radius. Like, it's way easier to hit once you level it up. It's pretty awful level, honestly, 1 through 3. Doesn't actually feel really good until you get to the max level. So that's the short answer, rather.
Guess we're the answer I was searching for. Arcade's even I know he's lost the aggro. 1 melee creep. Loda trying to drag it down so he can pull the dark creep wave over. And he can still do it if Arcade gets the pull up right, but unable to do so.
Bulldog's doing really well down here. You see what he's doing? Not only does he have this entire creep wave coming his way, and if he doesn't die here, he's going to hit like level 3.5, so he's got to be careful. But he's also using like 1 lone Spiderling to block the camp right down here, so they actually can't pull that, which is why they're just sitting up here. So the decision now when that kind of thing happens is like push. We need to push. Otherwise they get way too much out of this. They actually knock him out. They don't have vision of him, but he won't be able to go into the trees for a little while.
Top lane, Ohio trouble. The Cog's going to come down. Loda's right behind him. The attack from Keeper of the Line will get it. Mad was the one soaking up the damage from the creep wave. Now, does Alliance even try and stop this on bottom? Like, you got a catapult here, and with Gyrocopter intercepting the dire creep wave, they should be able to bring down this tier 1 tower.
I think they're debating it. There's no TPs on either Coddle or the Leshrac right now. Leshrac can't really push well until he hits like at least level 3.
This tower's into night range.
Yeah, it's into night range already.
Like, they have to do something about it. They're losing the catapult, which isn't the greatest thing in the world too. So it's 51 HP over on the tower. The new fresh Sentry Ward went down from Admiral Bulldog, so he knows they don't have any vision of him behind the tower. It looks like they're just happy to let it go. The new Sentry Ward gets placed just before the tower dies, so Bulldog will be aware that the Sentry Ward's down next to the tree line too.
And it's even Gyro holding the dusts as well. So if he catches him outside of the trees and you know, segregates them from the rest of the creeps, you can do a lot of damage. But it was just a really nice decision by Fnatic. Like, what time, like, when you do timing pushes like that, that's exactly what you want. It's like, let's single pull this so that we have a double wave. And they're like, crap, we can't pull anymore. Well, we'll make the best of a bad situation and actually just force the push. So Bulldog had a good idea, but Fnatic just kind of outplayed him in that sense.
Okay, so what does Bulldog do from here? You've just lost your tier 1 tower, you've got a Gyrocopter that's not backing off from the lane. Should you be getting in close on KYXY and trying to force him out, and maybe getting a little bit of help from another lane to ensure that? Or do you just say, we're fine, you'll farm with Spiderlings, you'll pick up your Soul Ring pretty shortly, and just go from that approach?
I don't think he should get any help from his supports. Like, this is not a hero that you want to aid. You kind of just want to let him do his own thing. I think it's fine for now. Like, it's not like his levels have been stifled that hard. I think he just needs to play out the lane, just do what he's doing. Yeah, it sucks you lost your tier 1 tower, but it's not. There's really nothing he could have done about that.
Coming up top lane, Snowball's on the way. It's going towards Arcade. They're going to try and go on Connor, but that means a double split earth, a bubble for Mad, not to mention the lightning slow. So you've got this movement, and they're unable to find the kill.
That was a really nice stun by Mad. Like I said, it's level 1 still, but it still has 2 seconds, so if you hit it, it's just as good, basically. I mean, the damage isn't there, but it's actually not a bad damage nuke either, level 1, for 120. So, really nicely timed.
Admiral Bulldog's getting up in the face now, KYXY. He's had enough of sitting back. If he can get the last hit here, yeah, he can. That's the Soul Ring now available. So Bulldog is now going to have never-ending mana and a really great regeneration coming in from the webs.
Mushi's going straight for the mech too. Picks up the DD and has 1 value point into the Arcane Orb early on, so he can manage those boars a little bit easier. And yeah, this dual jungling here from the spammers of Alliance is, we'll see how it works out.
It's the flash farming. Like they've got themselves, what is this, a triple or a quad stack available? You just Illuminate, Lightning, and Stun. And you basically care of most of it. In fact, Pycat's going to get leech level 6 from being here. And Mad as well as Arcade are fine with this, because they're also going to get level 4, even when they split it 3 ways.
Yep, Lugs up to level 5. Doesn't have the most CS in the world, but again, I was trying to touch on this, but then what's happening is, like, once you get your core items online, the boot to travel Naga to the Hawk, and then recalling with the Coddle to go on the other side of the map. You throw an Octarine core in the mix, then you have a 45-second or like a 40-second cooldown on your bots or something like that. 37, I think is what it is. You're going to be all around the map constantly. As long as Alliance can get their core items and not blunder out of the laning, I think they're going to be more than happy. I think the X factor is going to be actually Mushi. Like, how much can he get done with this mech? I think they need to fight early, actually. I don't think this is a game where you go super, 6-slotted refresher on Mushi's OD.
But are they capable of fighting early? You've got Loader already at level 6. He didn't level up his Song of the Siren, so he's not going to help anybody that way. But can you actually fight early going up against the Song of the Siren if Loader wants to put a point in it, which he now does? Like, he just has to have a TP scroll and TP on a tower.
Yeah, I think you can fight it in the song. It's just more of if the supports get their levels, they're going to have so much D push, right? Like the Leshrac spam and the Coddle spam. That's the scariest thing to me, which is why I think they need to force their issue.
I think KOXY is dead. Okay, Fly Cannon, he gets a lot of money before he'll die, but he's back behind the tier 1 town. The webs come in and in comes fucking Matsu with the axes, the lightning. He'll trigger the dust, but the roar from Pycat. A little bit of overcommittal, but they find the kill nonetheless. But Fnatic already looking at the trade-off. A double damage rune on Mushi means they actually have some tower push, and they'll look to take the tier 1.
They probably didn't need to use the roar there, but just wanted to get the kill before maybe reinforcements came. But this is going to be a big push for them. A lot of last hits there for Gyro, but some of them are inflated. Double TP down. I think this is definitely the right call. They can't lose this tower.
And it's back it up, but they sacrificed taking out the tier 1 tower in the mid lane because of this. They didn't finish the job. They might have also been concerned that Alliance would try and come in and stop them.
It's more important because Gyro will have like nowhere to go. Her, I don't know why I called it a her. I do that from time to time, by the way, so just changing genders here and there. But
well, unless that lady has learned to grow a moustache, I'm not quite sure, man. But one thing at least you could be right if you did say her. Winter Wyvern is actually a female.
Ah, okay.
A lot of people get that one wrong. I was getting it wrong.
I call Enigma a she a lot too. I don't know why.
What?
It's a kind of an it though, but
yes, yeah. Enigma is an enigma. He's undefinable. He is technically a non-gender. Hence, we say he before I said that.
Have you seen this VT sizzle, by the way? Oh, he's actually snowballing, but Admiral Bullock's really fast. He's not going to get stunned by it. So, very, very fast movement speed, obviously. He doesn't even need boots, but he's still up to enough to get away.
It's like he tried to set up with a shard so Admiral Bulldog couldn't walk away.
Right.
But obviously that didn't work.
And the shards is really long too. They buffed that. But have you seen that VG sigil?
Yeah. I had a bit of a closer look at it earlier before. Now top lane, we should have a look at the kill. Ohio hookshots in. Pycat, he's got roar available, and the boar's now stuck on the siren. They're just trying to buy a little bit of space. It lets him get away from the cogs, and they're just bailing out of here. They don't want to try and fight. The hookshot's already been used, so you won't be able to chase out Pycat. And in fact, Imber's only got the ball right behind him, so in fact, just blocking the pass. They cannot get through to kill anybody.
Yeah, I think Alliance are doing okay. We'll see what they can do with this mech on Mushi, but again, like Naga's not really getting interrupted in farm. Did go for the Arcanes. A little bit different than we've seen some other people do, just rushing the Radiance, but I think there's nothing wrong with safe lane Arcanes. It's also going to help out your team. You're going to need to use that energy booster eventually if you want to get the Doctrine Core, so it actually saves you money in the future. So it's a nice investment.
That's kind of a different way to play it early on too, because you want to have the mana, you're on your safe lane, you're not going to be running the bottle back and forth, you're not going to be moving in for runes all the time. Right. So it's just an easy way where you can mirror image and Riptide and still have mana to do something. Now the Hand of Mice is up, so it's a 10-minute and a half. Hand of Mice and Admiral Bulldog, who I think he had 1 CS 6 minutes into this game.
Yeah, this is more than fine. This is perfectly fine timing. And I mean, he hasn't taken that tower yet, but they've pressured it. They've made people move. They've got a kill on the Gyro, for instance. So
Ohio is coming in for Arke. He can get the hookshot from here. It's in range. He's actually clicking it, and there's the hookshot down. Pycat got more available. He doesn't want to go for it. In fact, he's just going to leave Arcade to die. One quick Illuminate, and they just let him die. The tier 1 tower is already forfeit anyway. The shard tower actually traps in Pycat. Johnny's too far away to get the snowball, but now he's got the vision, so he'll chase up after Pycat. He can't get rid of the sigil either, but Pycat, yeah. Johnny had no more help behind him.
Yeah, nice play by Pycat though, using the axes there to get out. I think he would have been fine anyway until Johnny has level 6. Can't really slow him out until then, so. But yeah, they got the tower, and that's just the typical thing. You push in with some kind of initiator from the side, which is Clockwork. It's like the tried and true best one. And yeah, easy peasy gank right there.
Yeah. Oh, Fnatic. That Sentry Ward does so much work when you can get that many hits in Spiderlings. It's just easy catch for a Gyrocopter. He's up to 107 CS, but a lot of that has been the Spiderlings. I think he actually got like one wave of Spiderlings where he took out 20 with just one flat cannon charge.
Yeah, I didn't really watch the actual mid lane. Oh, nice deny there with a haste rune there. That could have been huge for Mushi, running around with a haste in the mech. So nice deny there from Pycat. But speaking of Pycat, I didn't watch the mid lane that much, but I think it went really well for Mushi. Like I know, obviously OD wins that. When you're fighting up against an OD, you have to think what hero can actually do something, because it is one of the best 1v1s in the game. And Beastmaster's actually quite good. I think he actually maybe just got really heavily denied. Like looking at the CS, he's got almost 30 denies on OD so far.
Yeah.
So his net worth, he's got 80 CS. He's top of the line. No Midas as well, 6K net worth. So
it's also because of the lane switch up. Pycat left that middle lane about 5 minutes ago, possibly even 6 minutes ago, and
That's true.
And he smoked up to move around with Mad. So they try to find these kills, and Mad's already sitting on top of another smoke. The second Pycat got raw, he wanted to find a kill inside the jungle, but the smoke failed. They didn't find an opening. They kind of wanted to find that too, so then Loda can be a little bit further ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, which is fine getting kills. Typically, it's a little bit more like efficient to bring the kills to you though, especially on the mid laner. So say his supports came, he already had Roar set up. It just looks like he's farming naturally, and then out of nowhere you get roared and illuminated and whatever. So unfortunately, they haven't stifled Mushi's farm at all. But I mean, Loda's still farming, right? Like he's still up to 2,400 gold. And Brood, he's actually not doing too bad either. Almost level 9. Actually, he's about to hit it in just a second. So
even Arcade's finding really good farm. He's getting levels on this side lane, and maybe that's another way we should look at this. I know we were touching on the Arcane boost before, and we didn't really take I didn't really take into account too the fact that you got Chakra on the field. So you got all the mana in the world to basically play us like a Siren. But even though you lose these early towers, you're probably not going to lose much more. He actually baited out both the hookshot as well as the cooldown. Sparlings put the hookshot, and the cooldown was Pycat setting off on the Raw. But by basically having, like you lose your tier 1 tower on the bottom lane, you lose your tier 1 tower in the middle lane, how much further can Fnatic go over without committing their entire team? And then you're committing an entire team into Illuminate, Lightning, potential Naga Song, and a Brood Brother split pushing you out. Like, I almost feel like this is better for Alliance to have lost these early tier 1 towers. As long as they don't lose their tier 1 tower on top, they still control their jungle.
I just think the discrepancy between OD and Beastmaster right now is just way too large. It's maybe not way too large, but I just mean it is large. Like he's almost he is 3,000 more net worth over. And Beastmaster's just, he's trying to find the ganks, but he's not exactly finding all the ones that they want. Like it's only 2-2 in a 14-minute game, which is, I mean, Resident Sleeper, right? It's your Naga Siren game, which is fine for him. And it could be fine in the late, in the late game. And he must have taken a stack or something, because his net worth just went insane. Yeah, he just took a huge stack. So he's gonna have his relic in just about a couple creep kills after this.
And then this game changes on its head. Yes, the Beastmaster's a long way behind, but it's the space that gets created from the Naga Siren coming online. And then all he really needs is a Blink Dagger, and he kind of brings his team everything he really has to. And they're going to push coming on top lane for Fnatic. This time no DD room for Mushi, so no easy way to take him. And what does Alliance get in return? The Brood Brother's already pushing the tier 1 tower on bottom lane. KYXY is going to try and put an end to this. He's also going to take a crap ton of the Spiderlings with that cooldown. And Admiral Bulldog's not giving up, and we're just turning into tower trade-off time now. The TP came in from KYXY. In fact, he just abandons the bottom lane. They're letting it go. The ping came from Mad, said, you know what, he's out of there. Just go, take it, we move on to the next objective.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. We actually were talking about it before this. Like, this is probably going to be a little bit more slower paced game, right?
Yeah, 4 kills in 16 minutes.
I think you nailed it.
I think we got slow pace.
Well, you said they're going to go back to their roots and kind of like their split pushing ways, and I mean, what better way to do that with a Hawk scouting around, Radiant's coming up online soon here for Naga, and then the Broodmother probably just camping out in the bottom lane for the duration of the entire game until base is being pushed. And even then, who knows?
It's just the old-fashioned way of playing. You're already feeling confident enough that you can basically move around for the fights. You're not gonna lose high ground. Like Alliance, they did such a great job. You mentioned it too with the supports. When you get levels on both Arcade as well as on Mad, you're not gonna lose high ground. You got 4 points up in Lightning and you got 3 points up in the Chakra. You just spam and spam and spam, and no creep wave can take the high ground. So if Fnatic are going to find a kill, I actually almost look a little bit more towards Ohio and to see his presence on this map. And in fact, there's your presence. He caught Loda at Song of the Siren. He's trying to get it off, and maybe with the blinding light, Arcade can help him out. And Loda, he gets away at the last moment. Has a haster, and you do not want to try and turn and fight this one. You just want to control him for just a second longer, but that's big for Arcade. And hilariously enough, it was the perfect time I actually wanted to say this. I feel like the best counter to a Clockwork at any point of the game is a Keeper of the Light. Because Blinding Light makes Cogs completely useless. You're throwing out heals as well during the daytime, and you've got a Keeper of the Light that got momentum with farm. So he's already sitting on a point booster with Tranquils and a stick. He doesn't need anything else apart from the Aghanim Scepter, and he brings his team what they're requiring.
Yeah, and actually even more importantly, late game, if you don't have an MKB, it makes the damage to the right clickers useless too. Which is why I think Axe is so good on Caudle. Like for so many different reasons. Like obviously the constant of your recall, being able to heal people, the map hack in daytime with a gem. But I think the biggest thing is that in these team fights, being able to spam out Blinding Light is extremely big for people that don't have an MKB. It really is. And so expect to see that, but I mean, Gyro's going to get an MKB anyway, so.
Well, it's about to get the light punched out of him by the Tusker. So he'll go down inside the Radiant jungle. And you're committing Clockwork. It wasn't really that much to commit. 2 supports as well as a core. You take that any day.
Oh, top.
And Mushy playing for the room. Picks up the bounty. Doing it up against Pycat. No one else is really around to try and contest that. Notice to the fact that Pycat skipping out that Blink Dagger. It's the more common build for the Beastmaster just to go directly in for the Necro units.
Yeah, it's just because it got buffed last patch, so Necro 1 is actually a lot more useful than it once was. It was usually just kind of garbage until you hit level 3, but now it actually has a function, so. Yep, Radiant's online, 18 minutes, not the earliest, but not the latest, of course. He was in the safe lane, and has had to move around a little bit. Also bought Arcanes, of course. But again, I think Arcanes are fine, because he is going to get an Octarine core, and it just kind of like saves him the time.
Yep. We'll see. I kind of want to watch how much map control Loda's able to achieve with this.
Oh, tons.
Because you kind of want to go into an Octarine core, but you also want to make sure you get your BTs so you can move freely around the map.
Oh yeah.
And you need to get a little bit more survivability over on your illusions to make it difficult for Fnatic to just mop them up. Actually, I say that when you're up against an OD. Maybe the illusion-based play isn't the best way to do it.
Yeah, the most common thing I've seen that's been effective is the Boots of Travel, Yasha, and then into Octarine Core. So I imagine they'll disassemble this Arcane Boots here for bots and then go from there. But alright, we got a smoke.
It's like Admiral Bulldog kind of like subscribed to the Book of Ice Ice Ice. He's using his spiralings very similar as these scout positions. You were mentioning it with a block camp, but he's just got them so sporadically placed around the Radiant jungle that he's seeing everything that Fnatic are doing.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, the Beastmaster Hawk Vision is just also amazing. And Clockwork, by the way, I don't know if you see his inventory, but he's going for a Midas.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he went for the Robe of the Magi now into the Hand of Midas, so. Honestly, he kind of needs it too, because he's only level 8. He's a very, very low-level Clockwork.
He'll need space to after it, though. Because right now, if he hookshots in, he's not going to really achieve much. But at the same time, like we could say the same thing at like Bulba's Clockwork. Like, he jumped in time and time again, and all he had was Tranquil Boots and a hookshot and a Blade Mail. That was all. Now they're going to find an opening. So over on Pycat, he does have Roar, but Walrus Punch up. Blinding Light forces them all back. Can't even get the axes off. The Clockwork will finish the job with the Battery Assault. And the Beastmaster is down. Like, do you really need anything else as a Clockwork going like into the 30-minute into the mid game?
I mean, items are nice in this kind of game because if you can't find hookshot initiations, this hero is very, very heavily based on just his skill set. And if he can't find the initiations, then he needs items to supplement that. So that kill is actually very, very big. It's going to actually make his Midas just a little bit more useful because now it gives him more time. But again, I think the glaring problem is that we haven't really seen a huge fight with Mushi being able to use his mech like, you know, healing himself and 4 other allies, using his ultimate in a huge engagement, and then Naga's just doing her thing. I think Alliance kind of, you know, obviously looking at their lineup, they want this slow-paced kind of game. Leshrac even getting some decent farm. I think he's going to rush a BKB. He's got an Ogre Club now on top of Arcane Boots. And then obviously the Axe on Coddle is just, it's always going to be good in any kind of game, especially slow-paced games when you have extra vision from Hawk, so.
We had ourselves a lost chicken for a while. I was wondering what he was up to, and he's now just sitting next to the Observer Ward on the side. KYXY could potentially just take out that level 2 Dagon that's sitting on it.
Yeah, what is that about?
I don't know. Unless they're trying to scout out ward positioning, but ward detection, they don't have a gem, so that's not the case. Oh, he's just perching himself up. No, I think really what's happened here for the Courier, he's gone clucky. He refuses to leave the eggs.
This is very, very strange. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Maybe Bulldog was just worried about someone rotating up, but if he wants to do that, he just runs north. He's sitting in the tree line, spamming out spines of spiders. Ohio wants to have a crack at him, and in fact, he's going to completely miss it. Johnny's on the way in too. He's got dust available, but they didn't get the initial vision on Admiral Bulldog, which means they don't get much more. He goes back into Invis. Ohio's moving in. And the Sentry Ward, well, they don't see him. He's on the other side of the creep wave in the fog wall. Now Johnny will get the vision, throws out the ice shards, but he runs away. There was no damage. So he keeps walking through the tree lines, plants out another one, and the committal to get the kill is not there. While imprisonment, Loda looking over on Mushi on the top lane, lets off the Song of the Siren, but it's just allowing them to escape.
Yep, trying to decide whether they want to fight or flight, but that's one of the changes that ice shards is that's kind of crappy. So you can kind of you can place it where you want to. It has a way longer range. It costs less mana. These are all great things. But the old one was kind of nice because it kind of honed in on target, right? You didn't have to really. It wasn't really a skill shot. You just put it in the area and it kind of did it for you. But now there's always that chance to actually have it miss. So it kind of sucks.
Alliance have really been on top of the runes. We just saw Pycat again with the ball deny up that regeneration rune the Clockwork was going to. And Clockwork felt so much pressure because he saw one Spitling behind him. Triggered the battery assault, there was only one Spitling. So there was no more pressure from that. But Admiral Bulldog's having a terrific time on bottom lane now. No support wants to come down here because it's a level 4 spawn Spilings and a level 2 Dagon. Which pretty much means Naga. Loda, yep, that's a big pickup. Throw him up, throw him down, and he managed to pick up the Blade of Alacrity as well as the Band of Elviskin before death. So not a lot of money lost, but it's still a big kill.
It's very, very big. I think... Alright, Gyro has his BKB. I think he's going to need an MKB before they actually go high ground. Otherwise his attacks are going to miss. The blinding light's going to be really annoying. But that was obviously a step in the right direction.
Arcade's already coming back to defend this. Triggers his ultimate so he can throw out the Illuminate without putting himself at risk. The Sigil's already running in here, and he can also recall back more of his teammates if they're going to look to defend this tier 2 tower. But at the moment, Eli's just looking at a trade-off. Tier 2 for a tier 2.
KYXY has so much farm too.
Actually leaving. Are they fighting?
They don't want to trade right now, I don't believe. I don't think that they really gained too much from... Well, we'll see. They're actually still...
Can they even trade? Like, you're still going up against Illuminate with the ability for Alliance to mass TP in. I guess because it's TP as well as recall, so you're not having to have that mass amounts of delay while you wait for the heroes to arrive.
They're just trying to force them back.
Oh, Loda, TP's in the back of the Hulk. He does have the BTs up and running, and they snowball onto the illusions. That wasn't planned. Pycat with the Roar catches out Mushi. Mad needs a follow-up, so he's going to get him from Mushi too with a follow-up lightning. Instead, Mushi has to imprison himself, keep him out of play as Admiral Bulldog takes care of Keychick, and a big hook shot up. The Odi will drop, but the damage is enough to find a kill. There's your Illuminate from Arcade to finish off Ohio, and KYXY, he wants Pycat. The BKB is going to isolate KYXY. They did lose Pycat, but Loda's on the run out of here. That's a 3-for-1 trade-off. They might be looking for a little bit more. Nope, they're all going to back up.
Yeah, the Dagon's really big there too. It just... The extra range onto it, killing Rubik before he was able to steal anything. I'm surprised he didn't like quickly try to steal the Roar, because his spell steal was off cooldown. He had Riptide, which is a pretty unimpressive spell, but maybe could have stolen Roar, could have maybe even gone for the Split Earth that Leshrac just cast. It was just a bad place to fight, and they caught him out there with the Hawk Vision, and the sleep at the end there to just make things even easier. Yasha is complete here for Loda, so he TP's back. He's probably going to sell his Quelling, or his Bassi, yeah. Just swaps it out there.
Nice. This Naga's getting bigger and bigger. Is the Gyro big enough to deal with him though? Like the Monkey King player you're asking for, KYXY is getting very close to it. Just one more Javelin and he's basically there.
Yeah, it's really, really big for him. I swear the miss percentage on Radiance is higher than it actually says, because I feel like I miss all the time. 17%, but it feels like 25. So So it's really important that he does get that. And most Naga Sirens don't go for the butterfly anymore either. But just because the miss chance is already so sufficient from the Radiance, it's just almost like you don't even need it. Obviously, it's still good, but you need that extra item slot for Octarine Core, where before you didn't go for it.
What do you also think about, okay, you said before the Dagon is fantastic for Admiral Bulldog, you got the quick pick off on the Rubik.
Yeah.
Is this the point where you just stop at level 3 and you start transitioning into something more like Necrobooks, for example?
Well, I'll give the easy answer since you just bought Dagon 4 and say no. So
Such
no,
a cheat.
Absolutely not, Toby. You should definitely keep. Yes, thank you, Bulldog. No, I think if you're gonna do that at all, probably just get level 1 of it and then go for something else. But
so if you are getting up to level 3, finish the 5 and then go into your next item.
Yeah, you might as well. Like you've already, put so much gold into it.
It just seems to make a lot of sense when you're going up against someone like an OD. If you're able to burn out all of that mana, then there's no more essence shifts. Like it's not like the old days when if you used a mech, you could actually proc essence or was a buckler, and when tranquil boots were activatable, like those were the glory days of the OD.
It looks like OD is going to go for an Octarine Core himself. I actually haven't seen this. Obviously, you can theory craft about it, but so I don't really know how strong it is. Is it broken? I don't know. Haven't seen it, so I'm hoping he does go for it for my sake.
Yeah. The other option is it could be a Bloodstone. Did he finish the rest of it over on the Courier?
No, I can't imagine him wanting to get a Bloodstone on OD. That would be kind of strange.
Yeah.
Who knows? I've seen stranger things, right? So.
Well, smoke time from Fnatic. They can try and look for their opening. Unfortunately, they're smoked on completely the wrong side of the map. So this is where Fnatic is, and this is where Alliance is. It's polar opposites, the north to the south. So they're not going to find anything with this smoke. Oh, I take it all back. I didn't realize Admiral Bulldog was in the trees.
There you go. And I think there's going to be another... Yep, that's the MKB now completed for KYXY. You can sell this magic wand for some extra gold, too. Or did he just put it in the... No, he has it. Okay, he has enough for it.
And I just hit the caster's curse right there.
It is real. It is real. So Mushi is going to have his Octarine Core in one more CS here. He'll miss that one, unfortunately. Bad creep rhythm. That's the worst. Is when you know from the get-go that this creep is impossible to get.
It's flying over now. So Monkey King Bar as well as Octarine Core get to be completed.
That puts his ult down 40 seconds cooldown. 160 to 120. That's pretty insane. His Astral's down now to 9 seconds. Obviously, Mech is pretty bad, although since it got nerfed individually, it's great with the Greaves now. But that actually is important.
It actually kind of means a little bit more with the timing of Fnatic and with the way that the Lions are going to be probably playing the team fights. You're stuck with a Siren, you're going to buy time. If you start with that ulti from OD, you're probably going to get a second one during a team fight with that low cooldown.
Well, maybe, yeah. 120 seconds is still pretty long, but you definitely increase your odds.
It's dropped by that. Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's like
if it was a 60-second cooldown.
Holy man, I'm just going to sit back and just talk about what's on the screen. I've hit like a new level of a low today.
Ag's coming up on Clockwork, so obviously that's fine. I mean, it's hard, man, right? It's 7 to 5 in a 30-minute game. This is your typical Resident Sleeper Naga Siren game. He actually went for the full Manta before the Octarine Core. I feel like I've seen him I don't know, I'll have to ask him after, but I've seen most Naga? No, I think it is Naga. Most Naga go for Yasha and the Octarine.
It'll make sense. Now, Imba, finding himself a friend he doesn't really want. It's going to be just the illusion scouting him out. While on bottom lane, Alliance now starting to prepare their push power. So, Leshrac, this Mad's actually almost turned into a core, is this Leshrac. He doesn't have the Octarine Core behind it, but he's getting very close to finishing up a full BKB. While Admiral Bulldog has still this burst damage they want, and another big timing for Alliance, you've now got your Aghanim Scepter over on Arcane. It's not the daytime at the moment, but when it does hit, that's a lot of extra help. It's 30 minutes, so it's not as great, but it obviously tails off a little bit later into the game. But still, it's a nice little bit of an assistance for Alliance.
And I don't know how long they've had this gem unloaded, but obviously having the extra vision safely to spot out wards with your illusions is nice too. But they should now give that gem to Coddle when it does hit daytime. It's the same idea with nighttime for Night Stalker having nags and the gem. You just see everything so easily, and it makes it extremely. They have the easiest dewarding team ever, right? They got Coddle with Ags now. They have the Beastmaster Hawk to scout things out too. They have Naga illusions to help them out. To scout things out of harm's way. So
Oh,
Gimba.
Thinks he can have a chance to de-ward this out. The Mana League, he's draining a hell of a lot out of this one. There's also the Illuminate coming with a blinding light that has forced him so far down. And you're right, with the gank on bottom, KYXY is going to drop. Ohio tries to hook shot in, but he gets locked in with a whole bunch of Spylings. Now for the snowball, they're chasing after Load. A Song of the Siren is available, so they could potentially isolate them out. While Ohio running away from Necro units that managed to bring down JoinDOTA. Goodbye Tusker, and now over to Ember. The slow from Mad with the lightning, the imprisonment, but that just sets up for Mad if he wants to go for the split earth. Waits it out a little bit perfectly, actually. With the Illuminate also coming in, they'll find the 3 kills in favor of Alliance for no cost.
That was just a bad engagement. As soon as Clock didn't really hit anything with that hook, that should have been all disengage. And I really like that. I think the Dagon's actually doing a ton of work here too. It's a low cooldown as well. It's only 15 seconds, so he can just throw it out there liberally. And just with the Naga Siren, he's just going to be such a huge problem now. We haven't even seen the huge amounts of global presence that they can have with bots and the recall constantly now, because he does have an AG. So this is what I feared, seeing at the very beginning. I think Fnatic actually had to end this early. There is still an opening, but Gyro being dead right now for what, 60, 70 seconds? Yeah, it's pretty big, and trying to increase his farm.
I'm still trying to wonder, like, how is this OD was meant to carry them through to victory?
I don't know.
Like lane superiority was definitely there for Mushi. We already mentioned that one. It was going to really screw with Alliance, but then Alliance switched up their lanes, so Pycat still got what he needed. Like, with 32 minutes in, he's got level 3 Necro Box. If it's a quick Roshan, he could help with that. He's got 3 points up in the aura. If they're pushing hard ground, they can easily do that. And now the fact they've got a Leshrac who has a full BKB 32 minutes in, that's your support Leshrac. The team fights are even scary because Alliance have now just massively put up their damage.
Another mistook bottom onto Bulldog. He's quite fast at 522 movement speed and wasn't able to land the hook. It's not even an Aghanim scepter yet too for Ohio, so he'll have to wait another 45 seconds or so.
How are you meant to hit a hook when you're going up against Naga Illusions, Spiderlings, as well as having like Boars, Hawks, Necro units? Yeah, all this.
This is why I said at the beginning I wasn't really sold on the Clockwork pick. I still like the idea of having a 4-position Tuskar. I still really like that. I stand by that, but based off of what they saw when they drafted the Clockwork, I'm not sure if it was the best pick here. Also, another thing is the 5th pick Brood. Not so much in the fact that it's like we're picking a Brood to like own that lane. Haha, picked Brood 5th position, you're screwed. It's more of haha, we're throwing Beastmaster actually mid and not Leshrac, because I think if they were expecting Leshrac mid with the first pick, they could have really punished that with Snowball. I think that was their idea. Yep. Rush through mid all the time with Snowball and Rubik is very, very easy to kill them with the combination of heroes, and that's what they were expecting. And yes, Beastmaster did not do very well mid, but it was more of they kind of dodged the bullet and they wanted to get a little bit more out of their mid lane and their supports, and they weren't able to do that.
Well, Fnatic, they need to find some way to get themselves back in this game. They're losing the advantage completely. Alliance now rapidly approaching 10,000 net worth advantage. That big experience game they actually had, they're up to about 6,000 in the experience advantage going the way of Fnatic, and just in the last 5 minutes, Alliance have basically reversed that entire thing. And they're going to take Roshan as well. Let's leave Admiral Bulldog inside the pit. She's going to smoke up and move over, allowing RK to get a slightly aggressive Illuminate up, but you've suited the Spylings out, you've suited your vision, and Fnatic in fact just showed themselves in the mid. They're trying to force a team fight. Admiral Bulldog still doesn't finish the job. Like, he's got to finish off this Roshan. And, well, Fnatic, they can't come down. The Illuminate's actually zoning them out. The Aegis model is in the hands of the Broodmother. They're coming for the tier 2 tower, but knowing Roshan's done means that Alliance coming from behind, they're forced to go up to the high ground inside the dire jungle. It's the only safe place, but the Naga Illusions scouting this out as well. Admiral Bulldog's ready to come.
There's a Dagon just kind of throwing it out there, making him use some mech, making use some spells. I think Alliance want to fight right now, 100%.
Oh, yeah. You got Nega's the Immortal. If you can just get yourself a nice Song of the Siren, you can catch them all out, and well, there's your roar. KOXY hook shot up by Ohio, but they'll get blinding lighted out, which isolates Ohio next to Mad, who's pulsed over, it's ripping him apart. And KOXY, Admiral Bulldog's there. He might bring him down, but the Illuminate with a bit of a heal is still the Aegis Immortal. It doesn't matter. KOXY will get himself a double kill, and maybe there is some bite left in this Fnatic lineup, but KOXY running to the trolls. There's no way to get away, not when that Dagon's there for Admiral Bulldog. He'll find the pickup, and 4 heroes down. Mushi, the sole survivor of Team Fnatic.
Yeah, and the ulti, I don't even think killed anybody from Mushi. I think they maybe got the kill with the last auto attack to Ake from Gyrocopter, but Man, I'm telling you, these Dagon spams, like, it's really smart of him, too, to just throw it out immediately, right at the beginning of the fight, so that it cools down itself. It's only 15 seconds, now has an Eth Blade on top of that.
Yep.
Hell, if he even goes for an Octarine Core himself, that means it'll be a much lower cooldown on both of these spells. That's not to say that he'll probably do that, but I'm just throwing it out there. The fact that he can spam this out constantly is just really, really annoying for Fnatic. It's hard for them to actually initiate fights. There's really no clear target to actually go on. And they killed Admiral Bulldog, which was nice, but he had the Aegis. And I think that was really smart by Alliance to put the Aegis onto him, too.
Yeah. Well, they kind of knew Admiral Bulldog would just have to run in there anyway, because what else are you going to get from a Broodmother during a team fight? You got to run yourself in point-blank range in a gyro and a clockwork. The chances of that going really well without a BKB is very, very low. Speaking of which, it's kind of funny when you look at the Alliance lineup, which, like, the only BKB they have is on the supportless track, up against someone like an OD. Like, normally you look for this type of immunity up against a lineup, but Alliance realize it's not even required for them.
No, I mean, you don't necessarily need BKB against Gyro. Even Tusk is great against BKB with both the Sigil going through it and the Walrus Punch. And it's great. It's basically only good against Clockwork, who's not having a good game at all, and Odie, who just, I feel like, is kind of misplaced here in this game. Obviously, like, he dominated mid. He can take out these illusions nicely if he's not missing all the time, which I saw him miss several times just there. But other than that, his ult's just not as impressive as you might think it to be. He does have a Shivas now, which is great. So that's going to up his intelligence a bit, but is it enough? I'm not convinced.
I'm not sure about it either. Fnatic are the ones that can prove it to us if they can do it or not. Yes, they got the Satanic, so yeah, Gyrocopter, he can survive a lot longer during these fights. Didn't have that during the last one, so he'll have it for the next one. But the Lion's already preparing to move. Yeah, you're not going to have an Aegis Immortal for a very, very long time. Like, it's 3 minutes past the time where he died, so it's still a long time before there's a potential spawn time. So Alliance, is this just that moment when you try and split push? You finish the tier 2 tower in the top lane? Or do you just 5-man ball it and try and go in through the bottom? Is that the better option here?
I think you just keep split pushing and wait for them to make bad engagements. That's what I've seen all game so far, is Fnatic trying to, getting a little bit frustrated it seems, and trying to force a hook shot or force a team fight when it just is never the right time to go. I mean, there really isn't ever a clear time to go, but I think Alliance is just capitalizing on some kind of forced team fight issues from Fnatic, and I think that's what they should continue to do. There's no rush for them.
Well, if there's no rush, take out these tier 2 towns bit by bit. Keep farming up the rest of the map. Mad's currently farming up in the jungle. He's up to 1,700 gold now on this track too. The money just keeps rolling in. The Lash has more net worth than the Clockwork does. This is a real problem for Fnatic, because the Clockwork is a nothing. And this is a Clockwork who went ahead of Myers and is losing to a Leshrac in farm.
Yeah, I mean, Lesh does farm pretty quick, to be fair, but I agree. Clockwork, it's a hard game for him, we'll just put it at that.
There's also a lot of money which isn't being spent. Again, we know he's going for the Aghanim Scepter, but right now, if Alliance to initiate, he's got 2.5k of gold, which isn't doing anything for him.
The thing is, I don't think he's going to have time to make 2 hooks in a team fight even. I think when he hooks in, he's dead. It's going to be really hard, like...
Because there's no survivability, or because of Broodmother?
Well, for everything, just because he'll just get turned on and focused immediately because he doesn't have a Force Staff. Okay. And he doesn't have a Blade Mail either. And even if he did have a Blade Mail, I don't think that's enough to deter Alliance from stop attacking him, right? I think they're still going to kill him, though. I mean, maybe he'll have enough time for 2 hooks, but in a team fight, probably not.
They've left the gem over on Admiral Bulldog now. I say left, that's the one which was stolen from Ohio, which is over on him. So the Axe is up. And where's Ohio headed? They actually headed towards the middle lane. Loader well, they get the BKB out of KY, XY, and the Song of the Siren out from Loader. That's a better trade for Alliance any day. That BKB is now down to 7 seconds duration. How effective is this Satanic meant to be when you've only got yourself now 7 seconds of immune time? It's big. Critical on the timing too.
Gyrocopter is an interesting hero where it's like you want to build the BKB as soon as possible so that you can just kind of force fights. But the faster you build BKB, the faster you're going to get down to that 5-second duration, which is just awful. It's more awful on a hero like Gyro. I almost said Gyromancer. I was so close to saying that for some reason. But you can't replace it anymore. So it's very important that you kind of hold those as much as you can.
Admiral Bulldog's looking for a free kill. Mushy is not in. It's got a whole bunch of Spiralings, and now in comes Yanaga Illusion. So Mushy pops it up quickly. At the same time, Pycat, he's got himself an advantage here. There's the Invis rune. And they may even just go down for bottom. Keychick's pretty close, the hook shot in. They only hit on the spiraling, so didn't actually get close to hit on Admiral Bulldog. And now Pycat roars over on Mushi. Admiral Bulldog, can they finish the jump? There's a blinding light back. Mushi took the mech charge off in time. With that, actually jumped in. Is too far in with the Walrus punch. They cannot finish off low to the cooldown will buy some level of space. RK locks inside the cogs, but again the Illuminate giving an extra heal. It kept him alive a little bit longer, but he'll still end up dying. But the rest of the lineup of Fnatic, they can't even get back to base because Admiral Bulldog and Mad are just waiting for them. So they snowball up, try and buy a little bit of time, move over to Admiral Bulldog. Johnny is dead to the wall. So is Ohio. E-bladed down. No Dagon. 1 second till it's back off cooldown. And that's long enough for Mad to die. But the only player left alive is KYXY. And he is basically ensnared up at the moment by Lona. The gems are on the deck. There's your Dagon again. KYXY. The damage enough is secure on Lona as well as Beastmaster. And he's still alive. Admiral Bulldog does not want to stand for this. He's actually out. 130 life. He'll end up surviving and really recovering from what was a horrendous team fight for Fnatic.
I think they were like banking on the incapacitating bite or something for him to stop attacking, but obviously having the MKB doesn't really care about that. Like I said, this is the most important purchase for him this game, is his MKB. And look at his gold now. He's got 8K.
He can buy a straight Rapier if he really feels the need for it,
No,
but he's going to go
Butterfly. Not quite yet. Yeah, Butterfly's fine. But Rapier might be in store for this game as a 6th item, though, for sure.
Is that actually going to be enough, or would it be better just to go into something like a Daedalus? Go for safety.
I think right now the safety, because you saw how mortal Naga is, really. Like once you stop, I was actually surprised they didn't just kind of hightail it out of there. They got a little bit overconfident. I think they're still in a fine spot, but that just shows you that Fnatic do still have some fighting power and just how much damage this gyrocopter can do. And I mean, his BKBs are dwindling now. I am actually surprised that he even had that up. I was like, oh, see, that's the effect of popping that BKB in mid, but it just came up, I think.
The upside about having a lower duration is the lower cooldown.
That's right.
So he can always come back, but his full butterfly is now done. He's just looking down that top lane. He's got help on the way, which is the reason why KOXY is being so aggressive here. They're looking to just get rid of this tier 2 tower. There's only 2 remaining out of talents for both of these sides. 2 tier 2s. Alliance had theirs on the side lane, now they're going to lose that one on top. Are they actually ready to come high ground? Everything's up for Alliance, even a fresh Blink Dagger over on the Broodmother.
Yeah. To be fair, Mushi has a lot more room for growth, too. He can replace his treads, he can replace his mech for sheeps, for refresher, he can even replace his force for something bigger, too. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of scary that Naga's on pace, and you have all the tools to beat this global presence, but there actually is a lot more room for growth of this OD. Gyro can build one more item. Other than that, the heroes don't really function that. Oh, I heard a hook shot. No, it's just back towards KYXY.
Yeah, he's trying to get away. He had an observer. I don't know if there was even an observer ward. No, he didn't. He just was trying to make sure he got away as quickly as he could. It was a Hawk BT from Pycat. He was chasing after him with a Blink Dagger. So a roll would have caught him in a lot of trouble. Yeah,
the cores are much more even, but I'm looking at the deficit of supports, and that's like the biggest thing, which is very surprising considering the fact that Naga's had such a great start this game. But I mean, the supports have nothing on Fnatic's side.
Yeah.
You got a cloak and a medallion for Tusk, and
but how are they really meant to keep up? Yeah, a Tusker who was really reliant on kills being successful, and a Rubik who was still pulling but was under a lot of pressure from Admiral Bulldog. So supports didn't get a lot. Well, you had Lightning Leshrac as well as like Illuminating Coddle. You can easily farm up jungles, and that's something which just wasn't available for Fnatic.
Right. Yeah, obviously these heroes don't farm quickly. They need to farm heroes. I think that just goes back to the point that they were expecting the Lesh to be mid, and they were expecting to get lots of hero kills in mid. It's a lot more difficult when it's a Beastmaster. It's a lot more difficult when you have to deal with the Broodmother constantly. But that was all early game. Now we got Naga Siren to deal with, and Gyrocopter, who's closing in on this final item.
Interested to see what it's going to be. With Roshan back up again, Alliance will probably be looking over to that shortly. Or even Fnatic. But they can't slip in and take Roshan, however.
Ooh, this is big, actually. It's surprising that it's 45 minutes in, my god. But he finally does have his blink on Tusk. I said how core it was, and it is very core. So he can actually do a lot more saving, for instance, when the roar comes out on the gyro. And he's, I mean, I guess you have Astral, which is kind of cool, actually, now that I think about it. They have 2 different ways to really get them out. Unless you BKB'd, of course.
It's finally time for Roshan. So Alliance, actually, they scattered out with the Spiderling, that's why they weren't in there before, and Arcade's bringing in more friends. So Mad's going to arrive. And there's no way that Fnatic can get there in time. You've already gotten these Naga illusions, which are pushing out the mid and the bottom lane, and there's just nobody getting close. at least even if you do, you're going to get discovered a long time before you're going to reach the pit. So this agency model is going to belong to Alliance. Whose hands should it go into here? Is it Loda? Is it Bulldog? Is it even Mad?
I think you put it on Bulldog again. They're debating whether they want to put him on the Leshrac or not, but yeah, it is going to be go for Bulldog. I think they used it really, really well on him last time, and I think they just want more of the same this time. And pointing out too, Naga is going to go for the butterfly. Actually completed the butterfly too, which I think is better than Heart in this game for this reason. If you're watching her illusions, they're still getting like basically I think still one shot by Mushi. So you don't really tankiness is not really going to solve the problem. It's going to be more of okay, they're going to die anyway, so I might as well get the biggest bang for my buck and get more damage out of it.
The only downside is like if Mushi ever picks up an MKB, I don't know if that's really where he wants to go with his build. But he'll sell his trade sometime, surely.
It very well could be. It very well could be.
It might have to be, really.
BKB?
Well, won't be.
Doesn't want to, honestly, he doesn't want to deal with that damage from Brood. Like, that's his biggest competition in these fights, is the constant spam from Dagon and Ethblade. And then Leshrac obviously is turning into a pretty big core himself, so there's nothing wrong with that pickup. It's a late BKB too, which means that his BKB in these fights is going to be worth a lot more than it would have been like 15 minutes ago.
Shot out. They caught Admiral Bulldog. KYXY. The shots are too far away. They went into the snowball, but Admiral Bulldog is a very, very long way away. With the Illuminate that's also there to give him cover fire. There was no way Fnatic could come up that high ground.
They're boxing top.
Yep, they're actually jumping in. Pycat being picked up by Kichik. And with the Yuri ult, the Naga Siren Song can't save him because Mushi's got this BKB, so he can kill off Bulldog. He breaks the agency model because of this. The bottom lane's still being pushed in by Leshrac while all this is going down. Bulldog tries to run himself away. The snowball's chasing after, so there goes your Broodmother. What is the damage on bot? What is the cost? It's the tier 3 tower down to 300. Worth it. 100% worth it.
They didn't get the roar off, and the really nice quick reaction turn there from Mushi. That was just pure skill. Really nicely played by him. And the BKB was such a long duration. You saw that he could outlast like the entire Naga Siren ulti, and then some. So it was huge.
Nothing like a late game duration BKB. 48 minutes in. And Alliance, where do you go from here? So you've just blown your Aegis to the Immortal. You realize that you can't just take Fnatic with this split push going to start because they can initiate on you and then come back and defend. And the Leshrac isn't pushing fast enough to really justify the trade-off that you had.
They're recalling people bottom.
Are they going to go again?
They're going to try to get this kill on Mushi.
They're pretty close to it. Lightning to set up with the Mana Leak as well. He triggers the BKB, and there's no damage from Mad that's really going to have any effect here, but they can wait at the BKB. 2 seconds, 1 second, and now Mushi, he's back into the world of the normal. The roll is out, and Mushi just instead controlled and brought down 95 seconds on the sideline. Oh, the buyback is available for him.
KYXY is losing a lot of mana. He's actually all out of mana. He can't cast anything.
Well, see, how the hell is he meant to get out of here? Like, Arcade's chasing after him. Loda's got a Song of the Siren, which if he lets this off, he can catch out 3.
Nice
he kind of needs to as well. Manasal can't break 3. In comes the Snowball, and Loda's still the primary hero that's here. He needs to buy a little bit more space. The BKB's out from Gyrocopter again. The BTs, they're on the way in. It's Admiral Bulldog blinking forward, trying to slow down KYXY. The E-Blade Dagon obliterating Ohio. And with these 3 heroes down, they can force the buyback on the OD and take the tier 3 tower.
They can do both. And then the extra healing coming out from Illuminate. That mana leak is no joke, man. He can't really function that well without mana. It's kind of weird to say for a Gyrocopter, but he had absolutely no mana. He's taking a lot of damage too. Missile coming out.
He could even be dead again.
Here's like all down.
He's using the cooldown, but Arcade just heals himself up. Like the missile damage, he actually heals up with just the Illuminate. They will finally get the kill, but you've come out a long way. There's your E-Blade Dagon kill. The Gyros on the sidelines. Odie's brought back, but Johnny, he's so far out of base. Now they're going to lose another one, and all that's left is Mushi standing his ground on the bottom lane.
Oh god, he bought back too. That's a huge win for Alliance.
If they can kill him at the moment, you still got the Sigil on bottom lane, and okay, they're not going to give it a crack. There's not enough life over on Matt. He's already retreating out of here.
That's fine. You still know you have a huge window of time to kill him and end the game after that. I think you can easily win if they get a fresh pick off onto him. And now you're starting to see this global presence come into play, right? With the Hawk, and ooh, there's some extra damage coming out.
He's just being a nuisance more than anything else.
Yeah. But these constant boots of travel, do they all have, oh, hookshot missed. Do they all have boots of travel? Lesh is, they should probably all get them now.
You've got three. You got three. So
okay.
Pycat, Loader, as well as Bulldog.
I think Lesh should invest in one as well. Yeah. He has a sheep now, though, I think, if that's what he wants.
Yeah, they could buy so much. Pycat can even look into something like an Assault Cuirass to help him get through. Then Loader is walking around with 9.4k. He's still got a bottle while holding on to 9.4k. Something is not right here.
Yeah. You should probably spend that.
Probably. I don't care if it's a heart, I don't care if it's like a second butterfly, if you subscribe to the Book of Honey.
Second butterfly, there you go.
That's the Honey play, man. That's the Honey play.
I'm guessing he goes for a Scotty here. Very, very good stats. Gives you an extra edge in the team fights to slow someone down.
Hey, you talking about Beastmaster, or are you talking...
Oh, he's gonna go for the heart. No,
yeah,
for Naga.
It's a full heart. It's a full heart for Naga. So it's just survive, survive, and survive again.
I'm interested to see if Mushi can still one-shot these illusions.
Loader might also look to pick up their second BTs. Because he'll have buyback, like his surplus should be more than enough to deal with that. Like after he dies. Either way. Alliance are looking stable at the moment. They just have to finish the job.
Well, DD on Pycat. No real big DD holder this game, so it doesn't really matter. Are they going to wait for the next Roshan and Cheese?
Well, how long did he go for it? You got a minute and 50 seconds until he could potentially spawn.
I think you still need to go and abuse the fact that Mushi doesn't have buyback. That's a really, really big perk here for Alliance. And it's going to be 4.5 minutes for that. I don't think that Roche is going to come up in time for that, so we'll see. They're just waiting for some extra vision. Waiting to... Where are the Hawks now, actually? Maybe they've been killed. Up, there's one by this, by the ward that actually Fnatic has up.
And so it doubles up on the vision.
And look at Alliance. Oh, they're smoked, actually. I was like, they're all clumped up, but nope, they're smoked behind Mushi and KYXY.
They're trying to use him as bait, get Alliance to come out and just get a bit of an advantage. Admiral Bulldog, maybe he's the main man, runs down, the observers are down, and well, where are you going, Admiral Bulldog? He just blinked himself away, out of range of the dust. That was so quick from him, and it wasn't even a double tap because he went down.
Right. Yeah, and it's nice that he's keep pressuring down here, forcing heroes to kind of address him. Although KYXI can't push out quite quickly. And he's going for
a
refresher? Yeah, that'd be my guess.
It would make sense if you die and you come back again. Like you get your BKB, you get your Satanic, you get everything else. It's
Lincoln is obviously not bad either because this roar. If he gets roared, he's probably dead. They do have ways of saving him, which is great. But now they have a pressure on Pycat, so
you got two boss.
Yep.
And potentially resummon Decker units once the Jari kills someone for the start too. If you got enough mana to support this, of course. It's only 1,200 mana pool for Pycat. The downside of that refresher on
oh my god, Mushi, he's been attacking this one illusion forever, and he finally gets the hit, but he missed it like 5 times. Jeez.
Evasion is not easy to work with. Just starts getting a silver edge to try and break it.
Yeah, I think you just go MKB, honestly. It's a big problem if you can't kill these illusions. Because he kills them in like one shot if he actually... Look, miss. Alright, he hits it twice, but the other one, he wasn't so lucky. It is a big problem, though. I think it needs to be addressed. I think he will, but he's only got 4,000 gold. He needs to save that for buyback as well, which is not coming up for 2.5 minutes, so he just needs the time.
And Carrot is really committing a lot of money here. He can buy the second Perseverance at the moment. You won't have buyback available if he does so. But he really wants to have refresh.
He's killing this one ward with this one spider. See this right here? Oh, now he's brought some more. He's brought some friends, but it was kind of funny seeing it take forever.
He danced with the spiders, man. He's actually dancing the spiders. Maybe that's just a rude animation as well.
Things that make us happy in a 60-minute Naga game.
You hold on to that happy place you've got deep down inside. Well, the battle keeps going. Alliance, they keep the split push up. Mad as well as Arcade there, the ones on the bottom lane. Arcade not enjoying it when it's nighttime. He is meant to be the master of all things light, so requires the sun to function. The Pycat and Loader are up on the top lane. And of course Loader's in the middle lane as well because he's Naga Siren. And that just leaves our last one. That just leaves Well, who does that even leave? That doesn't leave anyone. Like, Broodmother's walking around. It's Admiral Bulldog, who's inside the Radiant jungle, just continuously farming up. They did bring down the range rack in the bottom. That's one upside now for Alliance, but it's range racked. It doesn't mean as much. If they can get the melee, they'll be absolutely ecstatic.
It's pretty negligible. Well, you know, one of the nice perks, at least, in this situation for Fnatic is that, and it is going to be a refresher here for KYXY, is he doesn't have to worry about the courier being snatched, because he can just buy it all in his base, so he's got that going for him, I guess.
That is that upside.
Yeah.
Roshan's dying right now to Alliance. This is Aegis and Cheese time as well. So who's really got the slots here? RK may just walk away with the Cheese, just as being a carrier. Is it almost worthwhile, actually, Leshrac dropping that gem and picking up the Aegis the bottom? Because everyone else basically got everything they want, apart from Pyke, and he could drop the Magic Wand. But everyone else is pretty much full. Admiral Bulldog could drop the Soul Ring like he did last time. That's another option.
Yeah, considering they have 2 gems, I think it's totally fine for Mad to drop that. AK has 1, which is great, as I mentioned, for the map pack, but yeah, it's going to be
the Soul Ring drop.
So picks up the Aegis, and then Cheese goes to Mad. This is
Mad. And instantly TPing up to the top lane, Pycat. Well, okay, he roars the courier and kills it off. You're not buying anything on anywhere outside your base, Fnatic.
Oh, man.
What was that for? It was, hang on, it was the Scythe of OD.
Okay.
Mushy was looking for a Scythe. He's the man with the most amount of money on the field at the moment.
I guess the perk of that, if we're looking at perks here, is that he didn't buy any of the rest, or the components. Yeah. So he can just go buy it up himself if he can ever get there. Right now he's having a difficult time as he's missing illusions constantly.
He's only going to battle.
Look at this. Look at that. He really needs an MKB, man. Are you?
It's like he's going for the Scythe, so he's capable of controlling up against the Naga directly, and maybe that's what it's all about.
Constantly. How can this be not a problem? This is just. Oh boy, I mean, illusions are one thing. Imagine it gets to the real hero too.
You want a problem? Look at KYXY. He's got enough mana for a cooldown as well as a refresh drop, and that's basically it. Johnny, trouble on top lane. The OD imprisonment will buy him a little bit of time. Actually, screwed up a little bit with Mad Stun, and then they go again. Bushy just keeping these imprisonments going, keeping his teammate alive while KYXY in for the cooldown, but Mad, he has the cheats already triggered. Loaded's got 3 players together, but look back inside the base. You've lost your bottom melee racks. Going to town, so the Siren will turn, but they're TPing out. Fnatic are actually held at bay up there, where the tier 2 tower is resting in peace, and Alliance have taken out the full bottom racks. They've taken out the range racks in the mid. The melee is being protected for the moment, and they hooked on Admiral Bulldog with blinding light, push them back out the cogs. The BKBs are up. There's your E-Blade Dagon in with the spawn spiralings. Bushy is so low. RK's going to man trade him out. The Bulldog with a BKB. He actually kept running, even though he could have turned and just gotten rid of the rocket.
That's
the Bushy is actually has snapped out of this. He's completely out of mana. KYXY's back out of here too. They've got nothing left, as you said. The top ranks have been taken out. So where do you fight? Alliance is all over your base like a hot rash, and it is. It's just GG. Alliance will take game number 1 here in the best of 3 up against Fnatic.
That's got to be one of the worst ways to lose. I mean, there was a really nice heads-up play from Loda, just using not only to save. They baited out so many spells in just so much time with the cheese on Leshrac, and so he waited until he was absolutely low, popped the cheese, used the ulti, went to mid instead. Actually, he TP bottom, but it was surgical, really. Like they just played it really, really well. That's just how you play Naga, guys. I mean, that's just how you play Naga.
We've only had 2 Naga games so far, and both games have
gone the distance.
They have taken the stretch of time from us, and that is 2 and a bit hours we won't get back. It was shy of the hour mark though, so it wasn't a real Naga game.